I don't hear me.
USA Radio News. I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Hey, welcome to Talking Truth to Power, Nevada, and the world's Freedom Talk Radio.
Urbi et orbi, from us to the world. How about that for a Latin inscription?
Yeah, right. We didn't have a show last week because...
We didn't?
No. No, Lee, you should know.
Well, we had a rerun.
We had a rerun.
A rebroadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were ill with, oh my God, Omicron.
I had a head cold.
You had an Omicron head cold.
Yeah, but and that was my first clue. Because I don't get head colds in this phase of my life. So I don't think I had a head cold for 15, 20 years. So the symptoms were very much like my memory of a head cold, and yet I don't get them. I thought, oh, this is Omicron. We talked about it on the show.
Right. But this is your second run around
of COVID, but the first one was a more serious episode. This thing was just a head cold. It got down in my throat. I had a little sore throat, but nothing really, you know.
Yeah, I had a bad cold in November and December, but I don't think it was Omicron. But maybe I should get tested for antibodies.
I'm beginning to think maybe that's what you went through there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty bad for several weeks. I mean, a lot of postnasal. Well, I don't want to bring all this stuff up on the radio.
No, we want to talk about it. But it was upper nasal congestion, and when it got to my throat, I think it was Saturday morning. I said, I'm going to go in and just see, you know. And so they tested me for.
Where'd you go to on Saturday to the hospital?
Yeah, no, to the clinic there up in Tahoe. Okay. And so I got the news the next day that it was COVID. Didn't surprise me a bit, but it really didn't interfere. You know, I had no fatigue. I had nothing like I had the first time.
Not even mild fatigue?
Not really, no.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a head cold.
A head cold. So, you know, we have to batten down the hatches and make sure that everybody gets quadruple vaccinated.
Now, is it too late to order
save us from this head cold?
Is it too late to order the at-home test?
Well, you know, Kamala's working on it every day. Okay. Every day she's working on it.
Okay. There she is now.
Yeah,
she's very good.
And you know, but I mean, Dr. Fauci again got torn a couple of new ones over the last week. He's really getting desperate.
He's finished. It's just that they can't let him go because they're in a state of desperation.
But then, you know, CNN was even mocking the establishment.
I'm not sure I understand.
They were even mocking the Centers for Disease Control.
Yeah.
Because when you lose the blue check liberals, I mean, what's left?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right. There's nothing left. Yeah.
When they all of a sudden reduced the incubation from 10 days or the isolation from 10 to 5 days, that threw a lot of liberals off. They weren't prepared for that.
It's like gambling addiction. Once you play your cards and you have nothing else to put on the table, then you just sit and watch. That's what they're doing. They have no idea. Now, this afternoon, I'm sure the news was, I think my sources said that they're waiting for this press conference late in the afternoon because they were afraid that we might see it and use it on our show.
This whole thing is complete bull.
Yep.
If you ask me, we got to fight it.
We do have to fight it, and we haven't stopped doing that. Urbi et orbi. From us to the rest of the world. We're still fighting.
Right. So the Supreme Court knocked down the vaccine mandate, and Sonia Sotomayor was very upset, you know.
She's not going to work.
No, the proud, wise Latina woman. who got the statistics completely wrong.
Everything was wrong. Is she a plant? I mean, she's just a hack. She's not really a Supreme Court justice. She's a political hack.
Well, all right. On most things, I agree with you, but on the Fourth Amendment, she's been pretty good. She's joined with people like Gorsuch to uphold the Fourth Amendment, traffic stops and things like that. Other than that, though, she's pretty much a washout, in my opinion.
Well, Psaki says that is Joe 2.0, is doing everything to control the virus and to bring down prices.
What am I doing here?
Yeah, and that's what we're going to find out this afternoon. I wish that thing had run before we went on the air, but unfortunately, we didn't have that benefit. So
yeah. The thing is that all over the world, people are getting fed up with these authoritarian policies, even in Australia. Now, Australia made the news by banning the tennis star from Serbia, Dvorak.
yeah,
Probably the world's greatest tennis player of all time, according to statistics. And they wouldn't let him in the country so he could compete in the Australian Open and win another record.
they really know how to rule out the welcome for him, huh?
I know.
It's not the Australia we used to know.
No, it's not. No. And
630 something of 14 days to flatten the curve. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot, how many more until you hit the floor?
that was, I got that off of a video from Australia and Queensland, which is the north eastern province there.
Yeah, right.
And Brisbane is the biggest city, I think. But at any rate, there were COVID police coming to this fast food restaurant in a mall, and all the customers were unmasked, and the owner was unmasked. There were a couple of, young workers. They had masks on, but everybody else was unmasked, and the police were there for quite a while. And finally, they left with their tails between their legs. And then the people were, the Australians were going, our forefathers didn't die, so you could come here and make us wear masks. They were just... and then this guy with the 1 jab, 2 jab, 3 jab, 4, how many more before we hit the floor?
Well, that Joe Biden, he's doing everything to control the virus and to bring down prices.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Want to expand your advertising dollar? Sponsor this or any America Matters program by calling 775-827-8900, extension 2. Now, back to the show.
Hey, welcome back to Talking Truth to Power. I'm your host, Brendan Trainor, and I'm here with Leland Faegre.
Urbi et orbi.
Yeah?
I just love saying that.
Okay. Well, you didn't hear much about it from CNN or MSNBC or even Fox, no. But this CIA MI6 Zog regime change operation was completely foiled in Kazakhstan over the last couple of weeks.
Doing what they've been doing since 1947.
Apparently, we tried to wound Putin right on the eve of the Russian and American security talks, and it did start as a peaceful protest. They deregulated the price of gas, and the gas prices went up. And it's actually liquefied natural gas that they use in their cars over there for some reason. So anyway, the peaceful protest was was taken over by armed jihadis imported from into Kazakhstan. So apparently there is a new rat line besides the Libya Syria rat line. Now it's Syria to Afghanistan, and then around down and then into Kazakhstan. And this is a combination of people that are doing this.
It's a coup of the stands?
Yes, it's a coup of the stands. Well, Kazakhstan is the most important. A lot of people don't know about Kazakhstan. Did you know most of the world's Bitcoin is produced in Kazakhstan?
I did not.
Yeah, so when this regime change went down, the Bitcoin market went down some. And they're also very rich in minerals, oil, gas, and rare earth, and the usual things over there. What happened was there was a struggle inside the capital, which is in the north of Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan has the second longest border in the world with Russia, only a little bit shorter than the U.S.-Canadian border. And then it also borders China. Guess which province it borders in China?
Where the Uyghurs are?
Where the Uyghurs are. So,
I'm not as dumb as I look.
So obviously it has great geopolitical significance, and that's why they tried to take it out. The capital Almaty is in the south. I mean, the largest city, Almaty, which is actually a very cosmopolitan city. It's 40% Russian. And then in the north, Dar Sultan, or I can't find it here, but the capital is in the north. So there was a power struggle in the north and the capital. In the meantime, the jihadis tried to take over the airport in Almaty to the south, and both of them failed. The coup in the palace was put down, and by President Tokayev, and it was headed by the former and first president of Kazakhstan after the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Nazarbayev, but he lost out. And then, so Tokayev prevailed, and meanwhile, the Kazakhstan security forces, well directed by Russian intelligence, recaptured the airport after the rebels had taken it over, hoping to, bring in more jihadis and supplies into the airport. So instead, the Kazakhstan forces acted very quickly. They retook the airport, and as soon as Tokayev established his, regime was safe, he called the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO, which is a Eurasian security. You loosely could call it a Eurasian NATO, but it's not really. But so they all responded. So Tokayev had a phone call with Putin in Belarus and the president of Belarus, Lukashenko, and also with the president of Armenia, because Armenia is now in the Russian orbit, and that president is currently in charge of this organization. They brought in 5,000 troops that quelled the rest of the violence. There were reports of 18 killed, and some of them were beheaded by the jihadis.
Wow.
And the rebel manifesto included demands for legalization of polygamy, independence for the oil-rich Western
First things
region.
first.
Yeah. And of course, complete pullout from the Russian, anything to do with Russia, complete pullout of that. So
does Mitt Romney know this?
Yeah, I think he does. Maybe he got the intel on that. I don't know. Anyway, the West we were as usual completely stunned and livid at how quickly Putin and his allies acted to foil this. And so this is
it's just another example where the CIA didn't plan it well and failed in the process. They end up looking like second stringers.
Well, yeah, exactly, and maybe even minor leaguers.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because Nikolai Patrushev is apparently the head of the Russian National Security Council, and he's been on this for months. He's seen all the jihadis coming and going from this rat line from Syria to Afghanistan and then back around to Kazakhstan. So he wasn't fooled. And
I mean, you see these operations now, and they happen so regularly. You know where they come from.
exactly.
You'd have to be extremely naive or poorly educated not to know. the
Or you'd
source
have
of
to
these.
be a CNN reporter.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah, we are the baddies, and we keep getting our noses bloodied. And you know, Blinken, of course, was very upset, and he was sputtering and you know, he can't stand that Russia, because he's like most of the Ashkenazi Jews that are diaspora and serving in our government, he's very anti-Russian, and he was completely flabbergasted. And then so the only thing we're threatening against Russia vis-a-vis this and also the Ukraine is massive sanctions. But our partners in the European Union said nixnay to etnay.
They're not really onto it. No.
Because sanctions would cripple them. It's going to be a cold winter it already is, but it's going to continue to be a cold winter in Europe. And if we sanction Russia, who knows what'll happen with the gas that Russia supplies to Europe. And then besides that, this trade. These sanctions that we've been imposing on Russia have already hurt European trade with Russia. Mm-hmm. And despite all we hear about the Russian economy being as small as Italy's or whatever, it's a very important, very important trade there. So the new president of Germany, Stolz, is probably going to meet with Putin very quickly to try and work something out with him, because Russia, even if they cut Russia off from SWIFT, the international bank messaging system, that's their ace that's their ace card. They keep threatening that. Mm-hmm. Russia and China are already almost there to develop their own messaging system.
Yeah, we're shooting blanks.
Yeah, and Russia says they'll go back to fax machines if they have to. They'll go back to paper, until they get it up and running. And so, that's interesting to find a country that's actually principled about its own, sovereignty. And so, of course, now he also made a complete, I'm talking about Blinken, he made the completely inane remark after the Russians came in that, when you invite Russians into your house, it can be hard to get rid of them.
Yeah,
That's what he said. I wonder what the people of Syria and Germany and Japan and all these other countries that we refuse to leave, South Korea.
Right. Persona non grata.
Yeah. Do you think maybe he meant when you invite a lot of Zionist Jews into your government, it could be hard to get them
couldn't
out?
be that. No, it couldn't be that.
Okay, all right. Russia's already pulling out, as far as I know. They've already, the OS...
I saw that too.
Yeah, they've already pulled their troops out. So it's just,
I heard it was incremental, but...
they're pulling out. But, so this anti-Russian hatred extends throughout so many aspects of our government, and not only among the diaspora Jews, but they've completely corrupted all the elements in our government, I'm afraid. They're completely irrational. There's nothing to it. Oh, I did want to mention, do we have a minute?
Yeah, just a minute.
The RAND Corporation issued a 350-page report in 2019 called Extending Russia. And they said, provide lethal aid to Ukraine, check. Increase support for the Syrian rebels. Well, that's kind of gone. Promote regime change in Belarus. Check. Exploit tensions in the South Caucasus. That was the Azerbaijan war against Armenia. That was what that was. Reduce Russian influence in Central Asia. Checkmated.
Yeah.
So the only thing left is they're supposed to try to cause unrest in Moldova. I'm sure the world is extremely upset about that.
Exactly. Well, this just in, Boris Johnson has scrapped the COVID mandates in England. All right. He says, we will trust the judgment of the British people.
Well, that's a rarity.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back. It's Talking Truth to Power. It's Nevada's Freedom Talk Radio, now on every podcast channel.
Yeah,
available.
that's right. Yeah.
Talking Truth to Power.
Yep.
All right. So the other thing that is in the news is that the Democrats continue to overreach on January 6th.
The open house?
Yeah. The White Riot. Remember I played that right afterwards?
Uh-huh.
But that's what it was. It was no insurrection, that's for sure.
Trespassers. Just a bunch of trespassers.
They were the worst trespassers since 9/11.
Yeah, exactly.
So Merrick Garland gave that awful speech promising to hunt down everyone involved in this great threat to our democracy, which I wish more Republicans would talk about our republic.
Using the term democracy, it kind of distorts the entire message.
Exactly.
They have a golden opportunity to, every time that someone uses the word democracy, to replace it.
Exactly.
Counter it.
Yes.
And they don't.
No.
They continue to dumb us down.
I did hear one Republican say republic in a speech this week, but it's very rare. They don't.
They don't even use it interchangeably anymore.
No.
It's really disappointing.
Yes.
We don't get our nomenclature right. We don't deserve to win this fight.
Yeah, words have meaning.
They do.
And if you let that meaning blur, there are bad consequences for that. Yeah, so
we dumb down our citizenry.
CNN Tonight, brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was good to see Congressman Gates and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene speak out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And this Ray Epps character, they refused to talk about him. They wouldn't answer Ted Cruz's questions on him. They wouldn't.
But he is supposed to testify Friday, I believe.
Well, we'll look forward to that.
Yeah. You know, they've got to have that prepared so he doesn't walk into his own mess, you know.
So the FBI is formally organizing a domestic terrorism unit because, you know, the bombings and murders by these white supremacists, you know, they happen every day.
Pervasive.
Yeah.
I must have gone through 5 or 6 of them on my way up here this morning. I'm lucky to be alive.
All right. So then, did you hear about the YouTuber Tim Pool? And he was...
I think we talked about that a couple weeks back.
Did we?
I
That he was
maybe
swatted during his show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that somebody else broke into his studio. He's got this magnificent studio, supposedly. He's been at this for years. He's making a lot of money. And it's somewhere in the hills of Virginia, West Virginia, I think. But he doesn't give out where it is except to his guests when he brings in a guest. But somebody's finding out because there's all kinds of incidents happening to him. And he's a major player. I mean,
every day is January 6th now.
Yes.
That's all they got, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, every day they're working on it.
Yeah.
Every day.
On the run up to the election. That's what this is all about.
Right.
They think they're going to be able to use this effectively on the American public, and I just don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think it's complete overreach once again. But people will get hurt in the meantime.
That's right.
People were accusing them of not arresting anybody for insurrection, so they went out and arrested a few Oath Keepers or charged them with insurrection.
And there's nothing there.
I don't think
There
so.
doesn't appear to be anything there.
No.
But you see, they had only managed to wrestle charges of trespassing against about 700 of these.
Exactly.
So there was nothing there.
No.
So they had to come up with somebody. Those mean old insurrectionists.
You know the thing.
So they went after the Oath Keepers. I mean, if they really want to inflame the American people, and we've been making this case on the show now for a few years, that it's a prelude to civil war.
Yes.
That's what they're doing.
We're already in a cold civil war of sorts,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Lines are being drawn.
We choose truth over facts.
There's the frail failure now as we speak.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
He's tired of being quiet. You know that, right?
Yeah. He's going to speak more. Isn't he giving a press conference?
Got one this afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That'll be great.
Urbi et Orbi.
I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness.
That's right.
I think most Americans already have, judging by the poll numbers.
And then they've got guys like, the off-scene crowd that's actually running the show. The Susan Rices, the Paul Begalas, the former President Obama. These people are all off-site running the show. And did you see what Paul Begala said the other day?
I might have missed that one.
It's not that they have bad leaders. He's describing the Democrat Party. They have bad followers.
Oh yeah, blame the voter. That's always the smart tactic.
Well, I think they're in their minds. That crowd is so stupid they're not paying attention anyway, so they can get away with that. That was from Paul, stroke of the pen, law of the land, kind of cool, Begala.
Yes. So, this, and the squad, the great leftist threat, they were just a complete failure in 2021. They had the power to control the leftist agenda, and they threw it away constantly. The only time they voted as a bloc was to approve Pelosi's police force, Capitol Police Force expansion, which after they were all about defund the police. Not too many people are talking about defund the police anymore.
Don't hear too much either. Yeah.
I wonder why.
And she's not she's not complying with requests for what she knows about the open house. / insurrection.
We have to take care of the cure. That will make the problem worse no matter what.
And so if she's not going to be forthcoming about what she knows, how can there be an investigation? It's clearly a sham.
Right. And,
she's covering up for her own behavior.
And then after that little incident in Florida when she went down there and then exposed herself and got the coof and came back up, and Republicans asked her some questions about it. What
you talking about Sandy?
Yeah, Sandy, AOC.
Yeah.
And one of the Republicans, it could have been Ben Shapiro, asked her to debate her issues, and she said, every time a Republican has to debate me, they just want to date me.
Yeah.
I don't have anything new for you on that, and we'll circle back with you directly. I can circle back. I'll circle back with you.
There's Peppermint Patty for you.
She's a typical feminist. It's all about her vagina. That's the only thing that counts.
Yeah. That's what they think.
Yeah.
Shut up.
So I don't know. Will the millenniums finally see through these people?
I think they already have.
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything but desperation left to run on in November. I think Biden's polling could be a drag on Democrats in November.
You think?
Yeah. I know I'm going out on a limb here, but
quite a few of them are retiring right now.
Yeah. What's it up to now? 27, I think. I think it's
at least, yeah.
I think that 62 number that left in Obama's midterm is going to be dwarfed by this election here. And our in-house studio audience loves that. Yep.
Now the only question is, will the Republicans actually do anything?
Yeah, I think this is a different Republican Party. I mean, there's still a few of them hanging on. You still got Mitt Romney and Crenshaw and some of these people, but for the most part, it looks like it's setting up nicely as a movement conservative party, which is what we've always wanted from the Tea Party going forward.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that's what we want. We want some principled people that are going to be debating and enacting laws, not a bunch of...
or reversing laws.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Repeal, reverse, replace, just like they did with Obamacare.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, they can't repeat that performance.
No, they can't. The thing is, like I said, it's very hard to get back to where you were after the government makes a power.
Once it's there, it's hard to get it out of there.
Right. That's why I actually supported Ted Cruz when he wanted to shut down the government over Obamacare, because he was right. I mean, once you get this entitlement in there, it's going to be very, very difficult to weed it out. And they've got I hear some Republicans are talking about revisiting health care, but they're going to have to, they have good ideas, but whether they're going to be able to get anything implemented is another issue.
Well, they're not going to have the... Yeah, that's where it's going to take, but they're not going to have an executive pen, unfortunately.
Right.
So they can initiate and pass legislation all they want. Once it goes to Biden's desk, it's not going to go anywhere. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
So we will have to wait for the big grand prizes to be once we win in 24.
This overload.
Shannon Lawson here. Join us for the Nevada Radio Roundup, Fridays at 2 p.m. A good news variety show all about the local scene. The Nevada Roundup, Friday at 2.
Hey, welcome back to Talking Truth to Power, and it's time for Jews in the News. And first of all, we have to give the Anti-Defamation League required disclaimer that we understand that Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East, and they're the only democracy in the Middle East, and they don't throw gay people off of roofs.
No, they don't. To their credit, they don't do that.
Yes. So whenever we observe Jewish people behaving badly, we must remember each and every time it's always our fault.
Yes.
So what happened a little while ago was Jon Stewart, a.k.a. Leibowitz, accused J.K. Rowling of anti-Semitism over her depiction of the goblins who run the Wizarding World's Greenwich Bank. And he accused her of portraying...
they run a lot of banks, don't
they? They do, yes. That goblin banksters are meant to depict Jews because Jews are often nasty, greedy bankers or something. How absurd.
Words to that effect.
Yeah. Obviously an anti-Semitic trope. I mean, he's absolutely right.
Right.
And you know that albino Jewish comedian Pete Davidson, he said the same thing in 2020, so it must be true. The only thing is, Kim Kardashian, how could you? She left Jay-Z for this guy.
Yeah, right. What's up with that?
Yeah. I remember South Park had a show about how the Earth was really an alien television show, a reality show. And somehow the boys got transported up to the alien studio because they claimed they said they were going to cancel the show and cancel Earth. So South Park portrayed the producers as ugly alien sex fiends with large proboscises and other strange protruding bodily parts. And I had to laugh because didn't anybody get it? They're really lampooning the Jews who run Hollywood.
That's clearly what they were doing. Yeah. Right.
But anyway,
that wasn't lost on us.
Yeah, no, it wasn't lost on us. But the answer is that a libertarian might say, I'm not against greedy bankers because they're Jewish. I'm against them because they profit off wars and depression.
Right.
But the answer to that, of course, is that they profit off wars and depressions largely because they are Jewish.
And they don't just profit off of them, they initiate them.
Yes, they foment them.
Yep.
And why? Because their religion allows them to cheat the goyim, and we're not allowed to complain. Now, the Jews, the Roma, a.k.a. the Gypsies, they're another diaspora people, very similar to the Jews in that they do not really assimilate, even more so than most Jews. They can live in an Eastern European country for decades without learning the language or anything else. And their ethics allows them and even celebrates the swindling of the people of the nations they're in. The crucial difference between the Jews and the Roma is that the Roma swindle with horse trading, fortune telling, petty theft, small stuff, and they like to. That's their culture. Because of their group average high intelligence, their extremely high verbal skills, refined networking skills developed over 2,500 years, the Jewish people integrate enough to appear homogenous with the dominant Western Caucasian societies.
So you're saying their eloquence affords them this advantage?
Oh, yeah, it always has. Even go back to the Bible. Look, Daniel in the lion's den, Joseph in Egypt, Sooner or later, the king is going to say, hey, this guy can really BS. Let's bring the Jew out of the prison.
Bring him in.
And have him become our consultant. Sure. Lenny Bruce used to do a great bit about this.
Oh, hell no.
How people always want to hear the Jews talk. Let's bring the Jew in and listen to him talk. So anyway, the thing is that they're extremely tribal, and there's no doubt about it. Studies confirm the tropes. I mean, what is a trope if it's real? The great Walter Williams, late Walter Williams, the black libertarian economist, used to say we discriminate because that helps us to sort through the stereotypes, help us to see what reality is. And the thing is, in order to get the Jewish people to be Americans first and Jews later, unlike Jonathan Pollard, and there are other Hollywood producers who also spied. I don't have their names on the tip of my tongue, but they spied against Americans' interests too. They were never brought to justice. Pollard was actually in prison, but as soon as he got out, he went back to Israel and he gave a speech to the Jews in Israel saying, you're Jews first and you're Americans second. And it's not always as blatant as that, but the fact is that the Jews are very...
Yeah, it's a lot more subtle.
Yeah, it's a lot more subtle, but they managed to steer the engines of government in their direction, according to their interests.
Their agenda.
Yeah, their agenda, exactly. Oh, boy, there's so many agendas out there. And then I challenge you to Google, just like Kamala Harris, I'm going to challenge you to Google.
Okay.
Google Jews expelled. And you can see several references come up, some of them from Jewish outlets, some of them from non-Jewish outlets. But they list the number of cities and states that the Jews have been expelled from over 1,000 times since they were formed in the Iron Age. And always, when you talk to the Jews, they will claim this is completely the fault of the Gentiles.
It's always our fault.
Yeah, because really, according to their narrative, the Jews were living peacefully, minding their own business, providing low-interest loans to the peasants.
I'm looking at a list of those Jews that were expelled right now as we speak.
And they were organizing civil rights protests for the peasants, just like they do in America, when suddenly the Christians remembered they killed Jesus and violence ensued. You know,
that's a good point.
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
So all 1,000 times, even when there was pagan or Islamic jurisdictions that expelled them, all 1,000 times, it was the fault of the nations around them and not their own fault. You know, we did it. So when you look down, you see at least half of them just say Jews expelled. They don't give any reason.
Well, that's the playbook of Job 2.0.
Right.
Same thing. They always deflect and blame everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't cause inflation.
No.
They didn't open the borders. It was a mess when we found it. You know, it was all, they're just taking a playbook out of this for their own agenda.
Whatever, I'll do what I want.
So what is the Jewish religion? Essentially, the Jewish religion is faith in a Messiah who will defeat the Goyim and make the seed of Abraham the dominant race. Now, some rabbis preach that in this post-Messianic world, every Jew will have 2,000 Goyim as their slaves.
2,000?
Yes, every Jew is, you know, you heard the Muslim gets 72 virgins.
Yeah.
The Jew gets 2,000
So that's
slaves.
a play off of that.
It may be, yeah.
It sounds like it's coming from the same source.
Oh, man, we're finding out a lot about all the Abrahamic religions. There's so much scholarship going down now because of archaeological, the development of archaeology and other historical tools that we have now, that we're going to find that all of these religions are built on, sand. They're not built on the rock. Anyway, besides religious issues, quicksand. Jews were expelled for, of course, usury, coin clipping. That's another form of cheating. And other bad business practices. Also, you'll find numerous charges of conspiring to overthrow the government that's in charge, like opening the gates of a Christian city and inviting Muslim invaders to come in. And some, of course, involved the blood libel, which is highly controversial, but they involved accusations of kidnapping, torturing, and murdering Gentile children to mock the Eucharist. And besides that most extreme example, of course, there's other numerous examples that caused pogroms, such as spitting and other desecration of Christian icons and relics. These desecrations, like I said, often resulted in violence. Even today in Israel, Christian clerics are often spat on by Orthodox Jews. According to the Jewish Talmud, it is a command of the Jews to kill any Gentile they can with their bare hands. The reason they do not is because of the Talmudic situational ethics, which we've talked about. It is do no harm to the Gentiles when they're in power and Jewish power is weak. But when Jewish power is strong, the Jews
can get away with it.
Yeah, the Jews are required to work for their tribal supremacy. I guess we're done.
Well, this is not America.
No, it's not.
I hope he has enough time to think before he does his press conference this afternoon.
Do you think that'll help?
Psaki said, he doesn't have enough time to think. That's why he's going off to Delaware.
he's vacationed in Delaware more than anyone.
160 days. See you next week.